What up everybody, Adrian here, and I'm back with another article about the future of James Bond. There's going to be a new trilogy of books written, but get this, with a feminist perspective. So some writer named Kim Sherwood, we'll get to her in a little bit, is writing a new trilogy of Bond novels, making her the first female author to write an addition to the book series. So instead of focusing on James Bond, instead they're going to introduce a new group of 00 agents after Bond goes missing, again with a feminist perspective. And the first book in the trilogy is going to be released in September 2022. Now right off the bat, I am for new stories, new characters, but what they're doing here is just pushing a far left feminist agenda. They're not doing this for a righteous reason or even for an entertaining reason. They're doing their typical woke agenda, further destroying great original works. So let's talk about who Kim Sherwood is. She must have written lots of books that have to do with the genre, like James Bond, so that she can be qualified to write a new trilogy expanding on James Bond. Turns out she wrote one book about a woman's experience during the Holocaust, and she co-wrote a book about the legality of how to save forests. That's it. So the books won't focus on James Bond, but she's bringing back fan favorites Moneypenny and the head of MI6. Wasn't Moneypenny just some secretary? Like, who cares? And she's gonna expand on more background characters as well, aka less interesting ones. She's gonna assemble a cast of heroes who we can all identify with, aka diversity alert. So she's gonna continue the trilogy with other characters, but she's gonna keep James Bond in the back pocket just in case things don't go good. She can always pull him out and be like, hey, remember me? I'm James Bond, the one you actually gave a shit about? Because if she was to write a separate trilogy that had nothing to do with James Bond, if it wasn't named James Bond, no one would care to want to read it. There have been many rumors of women taking over the role, even though Barbara Broccoli did say the next James Bond is still going to be a man. You never know, she might change her mind, and they won't reveal who will be the next James Bond until next year. Well, there's only one person who must be James Bond, and that is Henry Cavill, but he won't be. But I do have an idea of who might be the next James Bond. Now, if this author was to write a sexy femme fatale type James Bond story, which she's not, but plus it already has been done, and you can even get away with that now because women can't be sexy in movies anymore. They have to be like men and very androgynous looking. But if you're basically taking a woman and making her a more masculine James Bond, that defeats the purpose. So here's the thing about a woman James Bond, okay? I'm just gonna come out and say what everybody's thinking. Women are not suave. They're not charming. They tell boring, terrible stories. Remember that Dos Equis beer commercial? The most interesting man in the world. There is no female version of the most interesting woman in the world. And if you notice, they stopped making those commercials. I wonder why. So I found another article about Kim Sherwood, and she's basically going to take some inspiration from the Ian Fleming original books and just put that feminist spin on her own. There's so many original Ian Fleming books and stories that they haven't even scratched the surface with James Bond. So why all of a sudden are you writing even more books expanding what you haven't even touched upon? And some of the quotes she says, I want to bring feminists' perspective to the canon. She wants to make this part of the original lore canon. She says, I want to honor what came before us, but also create something new and create a space for all of us to be heroes. A space? You mean a safe space? And she says, we are in a different world now to Fleming's novels, and in some ways the world Fleming was writing about didn't exist. It was writing about this luxurious, materialistic world. Bond has always been a fantasy. But so what? Bond wasn't supposed to be taken that serious. It was supposed to be a fun, action, fantasy-based, half reality with a misogynist man and sexy women and them interacting in a fun, non-serious way. And in the past couple of movies with Daniel Craig, they've thrown the fun out of it, made it too serious, like a more dark, emotional. They basically castrated Bond. emasculated him, made him cry over his girlfriend, led around by a new, stronger, smarter woman. I mean, you even killed Bond. What more do you want? At this point, you're just dancing on his grave. Until the culture changes back to what it was, we're never going to get a traditional, fun James Bond again. So just imagine what this new writer with the feminist perspective is going to write with the new trilogy. So let me know in the comments what you think about this. Are you looking forward for a feminist perspective for James Bond? I'm certainly not. So thanks for watching. Until next time, see you next video.